Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session at Stratyges Consulting. I thank you all for giving your time and investing for the introductory session we are having. Today's topic we have is Business Analysis, Quality Assurance, and SCRUM. By far, this is our most popular training track. We trained over a couple of hundred students every year in this track. So I take the opportunity and thank you for joining this, because I have every year a couple of hundred successful people working in the corporate America, either as a BA Scrum Master or as a BA QA analyst. Let me give a backdrop about Stratyges Consulting. So Stratyges Consulting is a very niche and a boutique IT consulting, training, and a solutions organization. We are product partner for various products, companies, and the occasion for training hundreds of people, which we have been doing, is as follows. 50 million people have lost a job. The whole country is in distress. US is a big economy and the whole world depends upon the USA and its growth. So anything happens in the USA, it has implications globally. Now, such difficult situations happens once in every 50 or 100 years. I remember the last time we have had such kind of a distress situations were back in the 70s. So this is not common, and a lot of people have suffered, and it is our humble effort to provide a helping hand to the corporate America. These trainings are free to you all. We are investing our time, our efforts, and our money towards grooming you. This training is not only a theoretical training. There are dime a dozen training institutes which you must have come across. And today I will tell you how we are unique than hundreds and thousands of those training institutes. Our courses are much focused on career placement and employment placements. Our courses or our training enables you to get a job. Our training will help you, along with the theoretical experience which you will gather and garner, will also enable you to work on a real-time hands-on projects. Reason being, Stratyges Consulting works with over 43 universities in supporting their website, design, development, content. Stratyges Consulting works with over 80 small to mid-sized clients in terms of their digital marketing, website design, development, maintenance. So many of those small projects, they do come to us time and again. And those projects gives you an opportunity to teeth in towards hands-on learning. So along with the theoretical training, you also get a good glimpse and a good hands-on experience working on real-time projects. By doing so, it enables you to have a resume which is reference ready and project ready. So you are writing exactly what you have learned and what you have done. Along with that, our trainer fraternity will also help you towards preparing you how to talk and how to answer while having a session with the vendor agencies or other consulting companies. Because eventually, many of you would like to work in a corporate America also. So after the training and after our in-house projects, we will help you prepare your resume. Your resume will have all the buzzwords and the bells and the whistles, which enables you a lot of calling from the vendor agencies. We will help you what kind of questions and answers are required so that you can clear those vendor interviews. And then finally, we also help you towards how to clear the client interview. Because of your learning and because of your project experience and because you're getting a continuous guidance from the subject matter expertise, it is not a mere training. It enables you and it gives you the confidence to clear the client interview. Our job doesn't end there itself. Once you find a job, as you being a little rookie, when you go at the client side, often there will be project challenges which might scare you off. And Stratyges Consulting stand firm and stand along with you. So as and when those challenges comes in, we help you resolve them. It is our vision to help and place at least 300 IT professionals between June to December. And in this journey, we are training as of now over 723 candidates. Now that's huge. So our training tracks works India time as well as US time, 24 hours around the clock, because that's a huge number of people we are trying to train them and help them get a job. We are giving our 2 cents towards making America great again. Towards this journey, we are also generating employment in the USA as well as in India, because the founders of this organization are the first generation Indian Americans. So we are trying to help our Janmabhoomi, that is India, as well as definitely we are trying to help our Karmabhoomi, which is the United States of America. So I welcome this opportunity for today's session. As I said, it is one of the most popular sessions. Every year, at least a couple of hundred people we train and place. So by far, I'm seeing here so far 42 people have joined. Typically for this session, we get between 40 to 50 candidates who are interested as and when we go in an introductory class. As I said, this is the first introductory class. So we are not going to deep dive in this entire topic. We gives you enough inputs and enough information which helps you understand what you are getting into. This training session will help you understand 3 different skill sets: business analysis, quality assurance, and Scrum. The 3 trainers or the subject matter experts today I have who will be conducting this session, I have the pleasure of welcoming them. Along with me, I have 3 trainers who will be co-hosting this session: Sachin Nikam, Richa Saxena, and Rajiv Ranjan. So these 3 people over the next 1 hour will take the session. And now I welcome Sachin Nikam to take it further. Thank you.
Thank you, Dev. Thanks for that brief introduction. Okay.
Sure.
Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. Welcome you all again into this introductory sessions on business analysis with Stratyges Consulting. As mentioned by Dev, so you can see our services are aligned with our vision. So we are not only providing the training and placement, but along with that, we are providing some other facilities in terms of the services, in terms of real-time project, hands-on real-time project, and then resume and interview preparation, and then consulting. which is briefly explained by Dave. Moving on to the next slide. So we have our team as highlighted by Dave. Myself, Sachin. Currently, I'm working as a business analyst. I have almost around 10 years of experience into business analysis and into various domains in capital market, investment banking, work for various investment banking with US bank, with UK bank, with leading Japanese bank, French bank, and with the Indian stock market as well. I would like Rajiv to quickly introduce yourself. Rajiv?
Hi, thanks, Sachin. I'm Rajiv Ranjan. So I'm a business analyst. I have overall 13 years of experience, and I have contributed extensively on IT projects with the banking domain, where I have worked on trade settlements, trade confirmations, trade reconciliations, asset management, commercial banking, where I contributed on structured and syndicated loans, corporate loans. Also, I have worked on the derivative markets, where I have worked on various derivative instruments like forex instruments, interest rates, credit derivatives, commodities. So there are many areas where I have worked on in IT projects. So this is about brief introduction about me. Thanks. I just over to Richa for her introduction.
Thank you so much, Rajiv and Sachin and Dave, for introducing us. Hi, all. This is Richa Saxena. I'm having almost 10 years of experience in IT, which completely into Agile and a Scrum framework. And I'm working as a Scrum Master for last 3.5 years, and also conducting these kind of trainings for last 2.5 years for Scrum. I also have the background of manual testing. So to going forward with Sachin.
Yeah. Thank you, Richa, and thank you, Raju, for your brief introduction. So we'll try to cover what all the training agenda, which we will going to cover over the period of 6 weeks. So we have our training schedule for 6 weeks, starting with our what exactly business analysis is all about in the first week, and then business analysis knowledge areas in the second week, moving on to the business analysis tools and techniques in the third week, and then software testing part, which we will try to cover in the fourth week. Along with that, Scrum framework and event in the fifth week, and then Agile tools and techniques in the sixth week. The next slide is more about the brief details of what we will going to cover in each week. I mean, in the first week, you can see that along with the business analysis, what we are trying to cover is not only introduction to the business analysis, but the SDLC life cycles, and then even defining the scope and vision, sorry, then business analysis planning and monitoring part. So how the BA roles and responsibility is different from, be it as a project manager, program manager, portfolio manager. So all this we will try to cover in the first week, where we will try to make you comfortable to the business anatomies and then terminologies over there. Then in the second week, what we will try to cover is business analysis knowledge areas, where we try to cover the requirement analysis, planning and monitoring, where we focus more on the approach part, and then how we will going to engage the stakeholders, then how we will maintain the governance part, and then information management and tools part. The requirement analysis and design, where we'll try to see how this analysis and design part is properly maintained over here. And then a requirement lifecycle and management, where we'll try to see how we will going to trace the requirement, how we will going to maintain the requirement, how we will going to prioritize the requirement change, and then requirement approval part. And the strategy analysis part, we'll try to see what exactly the current state of the project, and then what is the future state based on the client requirement and the particular project. Along with that, defining the changing strategy over there. In week third, we'll try to cover a business analysis technique, where we'll try to identify what are the different techniques which are there in the market, which business analysts use in his day-to-day job. Starting with the JAT sessions, then prototyping, where you are doing some job shadowing, then SWOT analysis, be it is a stakeholder power and interest matrix, and then again, identifying what percentage of business analysis work we are supposed to spend in our entire project lifecycle, say for example. where we are trying to do some ADDIE analysis, then smart way of object identifications, and then Moscow analysis, and then prioritization of the requirements and all sort. And week 4 is software testing part, where we are trying to see how the functional testing or the performance testing techniques, which will be integrated as a part of business analysis, and you will going to use during the business analysis activity and work. In week 5, we'll try to see the Scrum framework and events, where we'll try to introduce you the Agile and Scrum framework, which is very popular in these days and most of the project. Along with that, we'll try to cover the Scrum teams, Scrum events, Scrum values. And then week 6, we'll try to cover the Agile tools and techniques. Well, we'll try to give you hands-on experience on the various tools and techniques which is there in the market, be it as a Jira or some tools and techniques which is there and being used by business analysts in his daily jobs. Moving on to the next part, what we are trying to cover here is we are trying to come up with some business requirement and showing you how that business requirement is covered as a part of all 6 knowledge areas of business analysis. So handing over it to you, Rajiv.
Hi, thanks, Sachin. The business requirement here is to construct a swing on a tree. So I would like to ask audience that what comes to your mind with this statement to construct a swing on a tree? I mean, what kind of swing you required? What comes to your mind? Any input from audience?
Okay, Raju, maybe I can say that it could be a single rope swing where there is no sitting tables or chairs or something, or the other could be a 2-sided rope swing with a comfortable chairs and all. I mean, there could be a various possibility.
Okay. So fine. So something, some requirement you have mentioned over here.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go to the next slide and we can see that in how many various way we can think swing on a tree. Definitely you can have thousands of ideas here. Just to put the 5 picks over here, that you can see that there are 3 seats in the first pictures, and the second picture you have just 1 seat. In the third picture, just like it is tied on a trunk part of the tree. And in the 4th pick, you have sofa, more comfortable, client looking for more comfortable swing. And in the last one, which is very much what Sachin has just explained, it is very much similar to that, 1 rope with a tire. So, I mean, these are just some example, but it can have many more variations. So why we have shown these variations? Because this will give a very good options to the client interactions. So as a business analyst, when we interact with the client, when the requirements come from the client, it might be just 1 statement, but we have to dig deeper to explore that what client is trying to say. In order to do that, we have to open their mind. Sometimes they might not able to think from various options perspective. And this will actually give them an idea, oh, okay, I can have this kind of, or this is the best alternative, this is the best options. So this is one of the important thing when we interacting with the client. And also that, we have to develop, this is very starting phase where you are interacting with the client. So that's where you can have arrange a meeting with a face-to-face client meeting. You can have a conference call. These tools, you can use it to discuss more with the client if it is in remote locations. And you have to build a repo with the client. So that repo will help client more open with you, and the client can discuss requirement in more detail, and you can ask more questions to the client. So this repo build up with the client will be very helpful. The soft skills is required. It is very much required. Like, you should be a very good listener. You should be listening for hours if the client is talking about the requirement. You should be a very good communicator. where you should able to put forward your questions to the client in very precise and clear crystal way. So these are some of the soft skills which a business analyst required with interaction with the client. And while doing this, business analyst must take a note of what client is talking about, because this is where the data collection starts. So you will have a more data in the future, where you can structure the data, you can come up with a requirement, actual requirement, and all sort of other thing. So this is all about investigating the situations. You can also consider the perspective, in what perspective the client is talking about, whether it is a personal requirement, a swing on a tree in their home premises, or it is a corporate requirement where they are having quite good number of swing they want in their corporate premises, or it might be a government municipal corporation where they want many swing on a tree in a garden. So we need to understand the scenario and situation, that what sort of situations it is. And options part, which I have already mentioned, that you can give lots of options to open up on the requirement. So while doing this, the business analyst has to do a groundwork on the domain knowledge. So this is a very simple example, but if you take this example, you must understand that from the domain perspective, that okay, you should be start writing the questionnaires when you understand the domain. Like, okay, is the what kind of tree is required? Is the tree there are various types of trees which can hold a swing. We need a strong tree, whether it is available in the premises or not. We have to find all other options. Or we can think that, okay, is there a two tree where a swing can in between, we can tie on the trunk of the tree. Or we can think, okay, what kind of rope? It could be a steel wire rope, or it is a natural rope, or it is a different kind of rope. So we have to ask these questions to the client. Okay, how comfortable seat would be? It's a wooden seat, or is it a tire, or it's just required a more cushion on the seat? So these sort of questions we need to ask. What kind of weight it can hold, the maximum weight they would be looking for a swing to hold on a tree. So these are some of the questions you need to ask. You need to write up and ask to the questions to the client. After that, the analysis started from the starting, and the analysis goes on. So when the analysis goes on, then as a business analyst, you will be a facilitator or arranger for the further activities. Like some of the activities which you can arrange, like JAT session, which is a joint application development, where you can call your entire stakeholders, like technical team, developer, solution architect, database architect, client, testing team, implementation team. So you can arrange a meeting for all these stakeholders, so that they will be the part of the requirement right from the starting. And you could be a scribe, where you'd be noting down what are the outcomes which is coming out of discussion. It could be a kind of an open forum where all the stakeholders from different expertise areas, they can bring forward their problems, their questions. It should be kind of an open forum. And with all these activities, what you are trying to do, you are actually trying to gather more and more data. Then you can understand, okay, this data is actual requirement, this data is supporting requirement, this data can be used in a different way in completing the project. And that's where you are structuring the data. You can have a various other session also while doing the requirement elicitations with the client. So you can actually arrange a workshop session. You can do a brainstorming session with all the stakeholders. You can conduct interviews session as well. There are many ways which can be done. You can also start a survey. This will help that, whether requirement is feasible or not, and the planning build up and other things, it will help actually. So there are many ways which I mentioned. It can be utilized as part of business analysis. And you can see one picture over here, which talks about how the project was documented. So, I mean, these are the way, you can see there is nothing documented over here. So documentation is very, very crucial for business analyst. They have to document it properly. So for the document requirement, there are various artifacts which a business analyst have to make it. Like to name some of them, like business requirement document, which will be a very detailed business specifications. Then business analyst can make a, FRD, functional requirement document. In functional requirement document, the business analyst can use a UML diagram, which is a unified modeling language. Some of the UML diagram, I'm just quoting some of the name, like you can have a class diagram, object diagram, sequence diagram, use cases. This can go in FRD. There are various very simple tools, like, everyone knows about it, that MS Office. For requirement, you can use Word. For presenting to client, you can use PPT. If you have some mapping sheet which you have to do, you can use Excel. And for you can use for UML MS Visio. So these are the tool can be used for the artifacts preparations. Business analysts also have a very crucial role in having interaction with the architect, solution architect and database architect. So once the requirement is started getting shaped, then business analysts can arrange a meeting with the architect where they can discuss about the data modeling. In the data modeling, they can talk about how the conceptual design of this project can be done, how we can do a logical design, how we can identify various entities, their attributes and relationships. So here a very good amount of input goes from the business analyst, and to and fro communications happens with the architect, and it will help to prepare data model. So business analysts can also help over here to make a breakdown structure. They can also help to make a data flow diagram. So there are many things. And there are some crucial artifacts as well, like flow chart, which business analysts need to prepare to overall show the process, the logic, I mean high level logic. And this logic will be the base for further design and the development. So business analysts also communicate very well with the developer in day life in the project durations, where they have to explain the flow chart. In certain cases where the business is quite complex, business analysts can also help a developer to write the algorithm. However, the developer only will write the algorithm, but it can help functionally over there. So you can understand that how important the business analyst's role over here. It is a kind of a bridge. Without that bridge, you cannot connect a multiple entry and exit point in your project. And it is very, very crucial. And when you prepare even the business requirement document, you give the hierarchy numbering so that it can be mapped to the test cases preparation. Business analyst also help the testing team to understand the function requirement so that they can write test cases properly. None of the scenarios should be missed out over there. And also in the last, business analyst can prepare user manual where how the system is built up, how many modules we have added, a step-by-step process flow can go into user manual, which will be very useful for the client to understand and have a look and feel for the software which has been built up for the requirement. So these are just in nutshell to give you a gist of how business analyst involved into a project. As we go on, we will definitely cover all this topic in more detail. We'll understand, we'll go with the live project to actually implement all these sort of technical terms which I have just mentioned, and also other strategies. So this is all about related to the business analysis and requirement understanding. I'll over to Sachin for further explanations.
Thank you, Rajiv. So before I start, let me ask one question. I mean, this probably, since everyone on mute, so probably I will only ask the question and probably tell you the answer. So there is one situation where in office, the boss wanted to check who is the project manager and who is the business analyst. I mean, he's not aware about the person and other team. So he's just trying to identify based on only one single question. So how will he going to identify which person is out of the two-person, which one is the project manager and which one is the business analyst? So any guess? I mean, what could be the single question that boss will going to ask so that based on that single question, he will able to identify who is the project manager and who is the business analyst. I mean, there's major confusion when we actually work in the project in the industry. So he simply asked that both the person to jump. On hearing that question, one person asked the question, how high? The single person asked why. Okay, so you can clearly understand the difference, why and how high. I mean, the why is from the business analyst. So business analyst always asks for the reason, why, and why. I mean, he can't simply take your request and blindly work on those requests. He just need to understand why exactly he is doing, what benefit is getting out of that work, and what value addition he is doing by doing that work to the project. Okay, where in case project manager is more concerned about a project. I mean, he is more concerned about what money he is making out of doing this business and what kind of value addition in terms of the project is doing to the organization. Okay, mostly you can see the project baseline is based on the three part, mostly the time, cost, and then scope. So taking the reference of this picture, so there might be a situation or there might be a condition where the requirement from the business is like based on the time and based on the cost is to prepare or to create a simple swing with the one row. However, over the period of time, they got to know that within the same time or within the same budget, they can have that swing with three a sitting arrangement where they can simply be a comfortable more than the first one. So it's totally based on the time and cost, how they can utilize and how the business analyst person can explain to utilize the time, cost, and scope to get their benefit and result. So most of the time they engage into analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation activities. So you can see analysis and design mostly cover 50% of the project time. However, in terms of the development, it almost consider 20% of the time. And the implementation evaluation almost cover 30% of the project timeline. So over the period of time, you utilize various tools and techniques, be it is a Racimetrics, be it is a RAID logs. So Racimetrics is more about the identifying the responsible, accountable, who need to be suggested and who need to be informed. However, in case of the RAID logs, you just try to keep track of risk, assumptions, and then issues and dependencies related to that project. You can see here in this project, I mean, in this picture, the documentation part is missing. So since there is a lack of communication, starting from the first stage of getting the requirement, eliciting the requirement, and then again communicating those requirements within the team, further about the prioritizing the requirement in this agile environment, taking the backlog of all those requirements, communicating with the product owner, getting it prioritized for the sprint. So all these points are missing some way. Okay, so documentation in usual waterfall method, you can see based on the various stages of the project lifecycle, be it is the initiation, planning, execution, and post-implementation review, we have various documentation. So starting with the project initiation document, then planning, so where we are talking about the baseline plan, then requirement is more about the business requirement documentation, and then again mapping the requirement traceability matrix. Then again in the design part, we have our functional specification document. In building and testing, we have our test exit report. In UAT, we have UAT approach report, then UAT plan report, UAT scorecard, we have UAT exit report. During the implementation, we have our go live plan. Along with that, any change in terms of the risk, and then ops or in terms of the technology, any impact of this particular go live, and then post implementation support in terms of the project closeout, and then project implementation review. Over the period of time, business analyst is involved in various meetings, which are a part of project implementation, be it is a steering committee meeting, which you usually call it the STERICO. We have working group meeting, we have project sponsor meeting, And along with that, we have a various artifacts which are part of this various meetings. So project initiation document, we are part of the steering committee meeting. Then we have business plan, we have UAT text report, test exit report, project MI, we have red log, we have daily communication, and then updating that in our governance part. So here you can see design. So probably you can say the architect part. So since the requirement is not clearly communicated, and then it is simple plain requirement of preparing or conducting a swing. So they simply identified that swing can be of this way. Okay. Over the period of time, if we go ahead and then check how it is installed and how it is charged to the client and how it is communicated to the support team. So it's completely mismatched and then mess, you can say. So it is not properly operated or installed in the environment. So, and then again, if you go and then check for the billing part, it is built a high or to some extent, which is not actually what we are delivering. And again, the help desk support, you can see that help desk support is not aware about what exactly we are delivering. So ideally, as a business analyst role, you need to communicate with each and every aspect of the project, which each and every team of the project, be it is a developer, be it is a end user, be it is a customer support team, be it is a sales team. And then what is the final expectation of the project? I mean, the customer is a simple swing. This is what the gap analysis and then initial stage where the business analysis and business analyst come into the picture, where they identified what is the initial stage, what is the as a stage, and what the customer expectation in terms of the to be stage, and what all tools and techniques we can use to reach that stage, and what value addition we will going to provide by delivering this requirement, which is from the business side, and how initial or how additional points which we can give into to the client, which will make them a more lavish in terms of their requirements. Going forward, what I will do, I will try to hand over this part to my colleague. So she will explain you how this project could have been better handled through agile way, and she will walk you through agile way of executing the project. Yeah, over to you, Richa.
Thank you so much, Sachin. So first question, I'll start with a question. Okay, so what this image, Sachin, please wait. Okay, so what this image says, what comes into your mind when you see this image? Anyone from the audience?
Is it about timeline, Richa?
Yes. Anything else?
Time is ticking continuously.
Right. Okay.
It's going in a reverse way.
Sorry?
Is it going anti-clockwise?
No. But good try. Okay. So
Continuous development.
yes, continuous development, right? So very much to the point. My motto was to depict things from this picture is it's a time boxed. Time is boxed within a limit, and it is continuously running, right? So that shows what is agile. Agile is a time boxed iterative approach to deliver the software incrementally or in a chunks. Okay, in small chunks. Okay, so what do I mean by this? Time box, yes, it is limited to time, but it is not in the other way, which is the myth about the agile, that agile gives the pressure on the development team. It's a myth. Okay, yeah, definitely it's a time box, but it is not pressurizing the development team. It gives sufficient time to develop their to finish their own task within the time limit. Okay, and we deliver our software in chunks, in iteration wise. Okay, we decide which part we need to finish in the current iteration. Okay, that is agile. Agile has the ability to respond to change. Okay, in the previous example, which we have taken for the business analysis, where we have seen that our requirement was to deliver, to construct a swing on a tree. Okay, all the 5 options which Rajiv has shown you were correct as per the requirement, right? They have not mentioned what exactly they want in their product. They just said, I want a swing on a tree. That's it. So all the 5 options were correct in that picture, but that's completely our assumption. That is not their requirement. Their requirement was one of them, right? Which we were not, that is not conveyed to us in a proper way. Agreed? So what happens when we are at the end of the delivery, when in waterfall, when we are at the delivery, at the point of delivering the software, at that time client comes into the picture and says, no boss, I have not asked for this software. What did you make? This is not what I have asked you. And he or she will straightforwardly can reject the project, right? So our 6 months or 1 year's time, effort, money, everything gets into the dustbin, right? So in Agile, what happens? We do this in small period. We are not, let's say, that in waterfall, that particular requirement is taking 6 months to get delivered. So 6 months time, our efforts and our money all will go into the dustbin. But in Agile, what happens? We'll showcase some part of our product to the client after few weeks, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and get the feedback from them during a particular meeting that is called review meeting in a Scrum. During that, we get the acceptance from the client, whether this is as per your requirement or not. If he says, yes, it is as per my requirement, then it's good for us. If he says, no, this is not what I want to have, right? So how much will waste? Only the effort and money of last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, instead of wasting 6 months efforts and money, right? So Agile has that ability to respond. Okay, Agile has a particular goal, that is to deliver highest value first. Highest value in terms of business, in terms of priority of the customer, what exactly he wants first. That is the goal of the Agile. We decide out of the entire product, which all part of this product having the more value to the business. Okay, and accordingly we decide which things we need to pick first and complete first and deliver it. So that is the main goal with Agile. Okay, we are not saying that this is the strongest method or most intelligent one, but yes, this is the most responsive framework. So that's why we ask our organization to move on to Agile. Okay, so what is Agile? I can say there are many myths around it, that it's a methodology, it's a process, it's a model. It's not that. It's none of them. It's just a mindset. Okay, Agile is basically came with our general human behaviors. People have observed all the general behaviors of human and collected those, and then have decided which all things needs to be there in Agile, and accordingly they have prepared it. That's why it is a mindset. Okay, a mindset with 4 values. Everything in this world will work only on some values, on some principles. A human being works on their own values and their own principles. Likewise, Agile is also having some values, some principles. Okay, so Agile is a mindset which has 4 values and 12 principles and lots and lots and lots of practices. Which are these practices? One of them is a Scrum, one of them is extreme programming, one of them could be lean programming, one of them could be Kanban, and one of them could be your own defined Scrum. I'll tell you what is your own defined Scrum is in my training. Not here because it will take much time to explain you. So this is what Agile is. Now, how it is beneficial for the organization, right? As I said, we can get in touch with our client in a particular duration. We decide that duration. We can communicate with our client on a daily basis as well. But that depends on your agreement between your client and you. Okay, which gives you more transparency in terms of requirement understanding. Okay, and accordingly it gives the result in fast execution. When you know what exactly you want to develop, definitely you will execute it faster than the waterfall method. Okay, and when we are focusing on particular section of the software, definitely it will give you the quality product of that, because it will give the more focus. We don't have much to do within that time period, and we need to focus on particular things by which we get the more focus on those things, and definitely by which we can get the quality product over there. Okay, I am not explaining you the values of this Agile, but one of them value is Agile gives more value to the individual. Individual means the person who is involved in the team. When you give, in a general human behavior, when you give responsibility to somebody, definitely that person feel important, and they will be reliable to you. Likewise, in Agile, when we give more importance to the individual, we get the reliability from that person and the commitment from that person. Okay, and which will lead into less waste. We have more focused team members in our team. We are getting quality product, we are getting reliability from the team members, and the commitment, which leads to the less waste. Okay, so these are the benefits which we are getting from Agile, which we are not getting into waterfall. That's why we enforce our organization to move into Agile. Okay, so like I have the same example here, which my colleagues have explained you earlier, but I'll explain you in this within the Agile method, in the Agile terms. Okay, so our requirement was a swing on a tree. That's it. Okay, so as per that requirement, my developer or my development team can understand this first image is the requirement. They can understand that this first image is the requirement of the client, and they will start building on that. And in waterfall, what happens? Client gives you this requirement and then he disappears. And after 6 months of time, or at the end of the delivery, when we are about to deliver our product on the production, at that time, client comes into the picture, and what we have delivered, the second picture in the slide, that we have delivered this, and client will see this and say, what is this? Is that this what I have asked you to make? No. And simply your project will go in the bid. Right? Agreed to this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in Agile, what we do is we decide some interval that is called iteration, and we decide that after this iteration we'll give you this much product to be built. So we'll work on that particular area, and in the review meeting we'll give the working software to demonstrate the client. Okay, and we get the agreement from the client. Is this the right product which you were looking for? If he says yes, we go for it, and we'll decide for the next iteration what all needs to be done in next iteration. Or what happens during the review meeting? The client will say, okay, this looks good, but we can do some modification in that. Okay, the development team will discuss this thing with client, and if at all it is feasible in terms of technology and business, will work upon that and will deliver in the further iterations, right? So that happens in the review meeting. Okay, so then we decide, the client says, no, I want here a tile to be hanged up for the swinging. Okay, we agreed to that and we delivered that. In the next meeting, in the next review meeting, client comes and say, okay, this product looks good and this is what I wanted to have, but one of my client want a wooden slide to sit on instead of a tire. I want this. How feasible it is to develop? We'll say, okay, you want a separate product for this to deliver your second client. Then we develop the next product which has very minimum changes into it, and we deliver into the next iteration. Likewise, we have prepared 4 products over here, with one has the tire to sit on, one has the wooden slide to sit on, one has a sofa to sit on, and one has a very lavish red colored velvet cloth on it to sit. Okay, so that client has asked us to make, and there we have responded to the change with no waste, and we have satisfied our client with their requirement. So these are the major differences between waterfall and agile. Okay, so any question till now?
Richa, probably we will take question answer session afterward.
Do you want to take questions now or at the end of the session?
At the end of the session, we can have that question and answer. I mean,
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Move on.
Yeah. Thank you, Richa. Thank you, Rajiv, for the detailed explanation on what the business analysis and then why we are moving. I mean, the industry is moving towards the agile and how it is more efficient, more effective way of delivering something valuable, which is more than the expectation from the client. Okay, I hope we have given a bit of overview in terms of what is business analysis and what all the techniques and tools which we will going to use. I mean, obviously we will going to cover all this in detail during our training session along with the agile frameworks as well. So any questions? We can have question and answer session now. Okay, any questions from audience?
Thanks, people.
Ask question.
So, hello. I have something to ask. Like, is it a first session I'm attending for the first time? So I'm not sure. Is it a first session or is it in the middle of the training session?
To answer your question, this is an introductory session. Can you, if you see the screen or if you see the presentation, you will see.
Answer. I mean, this is a give you. Yep.
Sorry, Sachin, wait. So this is an introductory session. You see on the slide, there are 6 weeks. And if you have any questions, send an email to training@stratyges.com. If you joined halfway through, you missed the previous earlier presentation. It should address all your questions. So it's an introductory session, gives you a good overview at an outlay what business analysis, quality assurance, and Scrum is about, how it will help you prepare for employment and to get a job. So if you join halfway through, then you missed the first 15-20 minutes, which should have answered your question. But if you send an email at training@stratyges.com, look at that email on the screen. We will send you the recorded session from the beginning that should address your question. It's an introductory class.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Richa, I have a question regarding the modified Scrum or the Scrum, which is kind of updated, like you were saying, in addition to the Lean or Kanban, other things. I have worked with others like Scrum where we have added use cases to the Scrum instead of stories. What is your experience with that?
You have added instead of user story what?
We have added use cases.
Use cases. Okay. So that is what your own defined Scrum. Scrum or Agile doesn't say that you need to stick with processes and this, but they says will provide you a framework within which you can apply any technique, any process within which, and you can deliver the product.
Yeah. But we had great success because stories doesn't have so much of formal way of documenting the requirements, whereas use cases have a very formal way of the go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry, but I think you don't know what is exactly the user story has the format. It is very clear in terms of what customer needs with which role and what exactly they want if we take the example of the access. So in the user story, everything gets defined. Like if I am the admin of the product, I should get the access to these and these sections. If I am the only visitor to this, I am having the visitor role, then I should have access to particular things. I should get read only access to the product. So these kinds of things are getting mentioned in the user story. The user story has its own format to define each and every case.
Just to add in, I mean, it's totally depend on project to project. And in my current project, we are using both the flavor of user story as well as use cases. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to add use cases to the user stories, which will give a more brief overview of what all scenarios we are supposed to cover. So this is like very helpful for a testing team as well. So they are aware about each and every corner cases they need to cover, particularly belong to that user story. So it's totally depend on project to project and how they want to implement within the team and based on the combined agreement within the team. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it offline with you. Okay, thanks.
If nobody has a question, I will conclude the session. If some of you, I see
I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Just a minute, sir. JT this
Make it quick.
side.
Thank you.
JT this side. My question is that I have experience working in teaching in training domain. So while going through your demo sessions, means this introductory session, it seems to be very easy progression to a ITBA, and I find it very lucrative, high paying career also. So what's your opinion on that? Hello. Hello.
Yes, your observation is right, Jayati. As a teaching, as a training which you are doing with a school or college level, many of these things you are covering, iteration, giving the feedback, tweaking the content. I mean, that's what I guess informally you have been doing a business analysis, except a business analyst, a formal business analyst in IT employment makes at least a six-figure teaching, sometimes substitute teaching and all doesn't make that big money. But good.
I really find it interesting.
You're right. Yes, yes. It is. Any teacher. See, that's the beauty of it. Okay. Many of you have done various employment, and you will know subconsciously after listening to this, many of these things, talking to the business users, understanding the requirement, gathering the information, doing work, giving them the feedback, retweaking your work. Even at home while cooking, you have done it. So basically, we all are business analysts, or we perform business analyst every day. So, but anyway, does anyone have any questions? Any other questions?
Yes, I have. My name is.
Thank you.
I just wanted to share that I have worked in HR and training and development and generalistic profile. And I got to know through this training session that informally I've already been doing these things. So now with your training program, I think I'll be able to do it in a formal way. And through that, I'll become BA or Scrum professional. So I think, thank you for giving this kind of overview, which is very much required to make us clear that we can make our career into this in a formal way. Thank you so much.
Okay. I think it's more of a compliment than a question, but good. Thank you. Any
Hello.
questions we have?
Yeah, I would like to say something.
Yes. State your name. State your name. And
yeah, I'm Neelaja. I've worked as a customer service at Macy's and JCPenney. So even I know the functional domain of apparels and sales domain experience, as this does not require much programming experience. Since programming structure doesn't come in this particular this BA, QA, Scrum methodologies. So I think it's easy for anyone to pick up all these methodologies and learn and become a BA by going through your training session.
Who's the person again?
Neelaja. Yeah.
Okay, Neelaja. Then if you're still working at JCPenney's or Macy's, please give us the employee discounts also. We would love to have them.
Sure. Yes, sure.
So we want you to join. We want you to join. Apart from your learning, maybe we can get some discounted clothing. But yes. So by doing this course, maybe you will be having a focus tracks towards a business analyst working for Tommy Hilfiger or Calvin Klein or Brook Brothers, right? These are all big apparel companies.
Yeah.
So there you could use your functional experience.
Yeah.
People in customer service makes very minimal $12-15 per hour, whereas in business analysis you will easily make between $50 to $80 per hour. So that's at least a six-figure guarantee. What you make in 5 years, here you will make in 1 year. Okay, so it's the same old wine, build different bottle, right?
Yeah.
So just using the lingos and the buzzwords, it's like you're at home casually, you get out, you get dressed up, beautify a little more. That's all about it. So working in JCPenney in customer service or Macy's is like sitting at home in your pajamas, and working as a business analyst in corporate America is like going for a marriage, all beautifying yourself.
Yeah, that
Good.
was quite a jump.
Yes.
Hello, I
Interesting.
have a question.
Yes, please state your name again and then ask a question, please.
Yeah, this is Shilpa, and I have a question. Like I missed the earlier part. Will you please conclude before give a overview before concluding?
Yeah.
Overview
Did you
of
hear what I just said? Yeah. So if you send an email to training@stratyges.com, we will send you a recorded session, because I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to repeat 15 minutes in the interest of time. We want to keep it up to 1 hour. This is the most, why business analyst? This is the most easy track. Anyone who speak English, anyone who is a social animal, meaning interact with the people and can talk to people, ask questions, can be a business analyst. Right? It is that basic requirement. So each one of you, I can assure you, you are a business analyst. It just you don't know. Okay, you have been performing 70 to 80% of these roles and responsibilities, whether at home or in your small odd jobs which you are working on, but you don't know. So what we do here in a formal setting, we educate you as to what you are doing is more or less what business analysis is. Then, as I said, it's not only theory, you will be given various in-house prototype SOW projects, because we work with many clients. So at any given point of time, we always have few projects going on. So you're basically teething in to those real-time projects. That gives you something to write, right? So that becomes your resume as a reference ready resume, meaning you walk the talk. Okay, and then the job doesn't end there. The team, along with the theoretical and practical training, will also help you towards preparing your resume, then how to answer questions and preparing you for the vendor interviewing, preparing you for the client interviewing, preparing you even when you go on the job, right? Then giving you that confidence that we are with you, behind you, along with you. So whenever you run into challenges, we will help you. It's like saying, Shilpa, right? Your name is?
Yes.
Yeah. So, it happens, right? During marriage, at the time of marriage, your mother, your sister, your aunt, someone in the family gives you some wisdom, gives you some finer points, do this, do that, right? Behave in that fashion. And then you have their number, right? So if something were to happen, any crisis moment, you have something to fall back on. You ask them the expert guidance, and they will give you their experience, which will help you towards, resolving those issues. Yes?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So that helps you, with minimal challenges to sustain and survive and overcome. So the same thing we are doing. And then what happens, practice makes you perfect. It's like after marriage, you may not be, again, I'm just giving as an example, you may not be a good cook, right? Then what happens? You have a cooking book, you have Sarla Dalal, you have your mom, you have your aunt, and then you have your own friends of network, and then you brainstorm with each other, and then in no time, you become an excellent cook. To the extent your husband starts complaining that he's gaining weight, right? So that's exactly what happens here. It's the same network every year, because this is the most popular track. Every year we train and place only in business analysis, QA, Scrum, at least couple of 100 people, right? And why this is important? Because 50 million people have lost their job, right? So these are real dire situations in the corporate America as well as to the USA. So hence, we are, it's our art of giving, because I guess after living here, for me and Ravi, we realized after making money that we can't eat money for food, for food, it's the same food which we all eat. So it's our art of giving for the struggling strata of the society, that by helping you giving the training, many of you will get a job. That's our sincere hope, Shilpa. Thank you.
Mr.
Anyone
Dev,
else?
I have just a question that I find this course very good for me. So I just want to know, when are you going to start this training? I want to enroll for this.
Very good question. So training at stratyges.com, many of you, some of you have already approached there. So this is an introductory class. After this class, there is a formal, admission process. You see, track is mainly meant for the people living in the USA. Okay, make America great again. That's the campaign of the president of the USA, Mr. Trump, and we are giving our 2 cents towards helping to that campaign and creating employment. While doing so, we are also creating employment in India, right? So because we have dual heritage, so the training tracks will be starting in the first week of August. Not only BA, along with BA, I'm not sure if you attended our previous training tracks. If not, just ask. So we have different training tracks, right? We have a training tracks. This is, by the way, our most popular training tracks because it's easy. But we are also giving training on cloud DevOps. That's a separate track, another 6 plus 2, 8 weeks. We're also giving training on big data. That's another training track, 6 plus 2, 8 weeks. We're also giving training on Python. So it's not only training, real development, project experience, helping you prepare ready resume, helping you clear the vendor interviewing, client interviewing, project support. And like this, we have a training track for Selenium QA. We have a training track for Tableau business reporting. We have a training track for Salesforce administration, business analysis, or Salesforce administration plus development. We have a training track for Oracle NetSuite. So we have various technologies, all major technologies I can think of. We are giving training. We are training about 700 and odd people as we speak. Okay, so, and these training tracks are all across different time zones. This particular training track will start in the first week of August. I need to check with my HR as to what are the time slots, but if you send an email to them, they will be able to send you the details, please.
Okay, I will send an email and
sure.
You can go through.
So we have everything, right? Python, big data, Java full stack, main stack, .NET full stack, main stack, robotics process automation, cloud DevOps, big data, Selenium QA, PAPA Scrum, PABM Scrum, Salesforce, UI UX. I mean, Tableau BI. So all these tracks are starting different weeks, different time zones. Depending upon what your comfort level is, that's where these introductory classes are made. If you still have any doubts and if you have not attended, say for example, Salesforce administration plus business analysis, that's another popular track we have. Okay, if you know some SQL, then Python is another very high paying job, $100, $80 per hour. So I'm not sure what your interest is. You may ask for the training videos, if not all, at least 1 or 2, and we'll be more than happy to send you the recorded sessions of those videos. These are typically 45 minutes to an hour video, which will give you a good information on what this course content is about. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
My name is Shraddha.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to know what is the growth prospects of BA?
How does BA evolves?
Yes.
Okay. Sachin, do you want to answer that question or?
Okay, Dev. I mean, I can answer and then probably you can support after that based on your experience. I mean, you have vast experience. Probably you can say that BA, the role is not only limited to business analyst. In the industry, you can go the business analyst as a different track. You have various opportunities which are currently available in the industry. Apart from that business analysis, you can work as a business architect, business system analyst, data analyst, enterprise analyst, process analyst, product manager, product owner. With the agile environment, you can work as a scrum master, product owner, over the period of time, since the role evolved, you can start working over the period as a project manager, as a program manager, portfolio manager. And the one of the article where I read in the BA Times, the number of job portfolio for the BA in the US will set to increase from 0.36 million to 2.72 million. I mean, that was quoted like the start of the year. So probably you can understand how the growth perspective for the BA.
I will simplify that in a compensation monetary aspect. A plain BA makes anywhere between 100,000 to 130,000. As Sachin gave you those other titles, those titles makes anywhere between 120,000 to 250,000. Okay, so so any one of you who's not making a six-figure, this is an opportunity for you to at least strive for that, and you will do it. Why? Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry, or every ordinary person just like you, who have no, I guess, experience in that, formal experience. I mean, I always tell people, we all are business analysts, right? At home, even while cooking, you are doing Scrum, meaning, you know, if you have more onion, if you have more salt, if you put more salt, you put potatoes to minimize the salt flavor. You know, if it is less spicy, you will add chili to it. So this is all Scrum methodology, right? Every iteration, you're taking a break, seeing it, tasting the food, and then trying to make it to the perfection. So we all are doing it unknowingly. That's the problem. Here, we make it. It's like going to a beauty salon. You guys are doing it at home, but for special events, you go to a beauty salon, right? Because they are professional. So that's where many of you are doing it. But this kind of training gives you self-confidence. It also adds you the bells and the whistles, meaning, you know, because again, I'm quoting last year, I think one of the Indian leader, Amit Shah, had famously said, "Dikta hai wo bikta hai." People will buy what you show them, right? Resume writing is an art as well as it's a science. A poor resume writing, which does not entails the appropriate experience and the buzzwords, often leads to lack of opportunities. So, and the other thing is support, project support, or guiding you through the experience. It's just like your marriage experience. Someone told you at the time of getting married, at the time of matchmaking process, your engagement process, your marriage process, your motherhood, fatherhood, parenthood, right? At every step, somebody gives you that helping hand, and that made your life easy. Yes. So this is what we are doing. Okay, but it helps you makes a lot of money. That's the whole purpose of having these tracks. The other technology tracks also, all, you know, why people work in IT, because, you know, you minimum makes 100,000 period. Okay, does anyone have any other questions?
One question, perspective to industry, which industry has more demand for BA?
So business analysis, as the name suggests, who's this please?
This is Tulika.
Okay, business analysis, as the name suggests, is analyzing the business. You follow?
Yeah.
So you are a subject, say for example, you know, you're working, somebody was saying they're working in Macy's or JCPenney's. She will be a business analyst for the apparel domain, right? I think the other lady was saying she was into training or teaching. She will be a business analysis for the training education institutions. So every industry, whether you're a telecom, banking, investments, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, entertainment, media, education, these are all industries, right? There is a management, there is a executive management. What is the executive management job is to grow, make money, profit, and also being the cutting edge. right? Meaning technologically we need to be advanced, right? Now there is a technical team. The technical team's job is to enable that technology. Now there is a gap. What is a gap? The technology team, which is sitting 8,000, 10,000 miles away, maybe in India, China, or some other country, does not understand the business. Primarily business analysts, majority of them are on site. That's the reason Sachin was giving you that there will be millions of jobs will be made available once we come out of COVID-19, right? So these jobs cannot be outsourced because you are talking to the management. Okay, C executives does not have a time. The CEOs and the CIOs and the CTOs and the vice presidents, executive vice presidents, they have a vision. They are not very good. They're alpha male or alpha female. They are not good in writing a 1-page or a 10-page documentation as to what they are looking to do. And that's where the need of a business analyst comes in. Okay, they are more as a liaison, right? So catalyst, right? Chemistry, what does catalyst does? It expedites the process and it compresses the learning curve. So basically, a business analyst understands the vision of the management and as to what they are looking to do in terms of IT automation. They write it down in an easy to understand template. That template is given to the technical team. Technical team doesn't know nothing about the business. They are coders. They are like a geeky coders. Okay, so they have no idea about the business. So the business analyst works as a middleman. It's like a matchmaker, right? There's a bride on the one side, groom on the other side. They understand the expectations of both the parties and try to bring them together. So that's what business analyst job is. Understands the requirement, write it down on a piece of paper. All of you know Microsoft Word to the best of my knowledge, or Excel. That's where you'll write it down, or they will have their own standard templates. Give it to the technical team in a simple to understand English language. They will have questions. They will ask follow-up questions. And then your job is again to take those questions, go to the senior management, let them give answers to those questions. You freeze those answers, you give it to the technical team. Then they will have phases. That's what she talked about, Scrum, iteration, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, every interval, every week, every few weeks, they will give a pilot project. You take that pilot project, show it to the management, everything worked. Any questions, do some quick tweaking. Otherwise, that's done. And then phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and the last phase. And you are done. Project goes live. Okay. So you're basically liaison. If you speak English, mandatory requirement, English. You must speak English because this job will be in corporate America. If you're bilingual, English, Spanish, and maybe one of the Indian language commonly spoken, maybe Hindi, you are good. You're all good. Okay. So every domain needs a business analyst to explain, elaborate, understand the business.
Okay. Thank you, Deepti.
You're welcome. Okay. I mean, this is the most favorite and most common and popular training track we have. So that's where normally we get anywhere between 30 to 40 people in the class. We had more than 50 people. As we are heading to the end, people are dropping. But we'll record the session. Anyone else have any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Introduce your name plus and then speak.
Yes, here Vishal Vanjari. Sir, my question is, after this course completion, to be a BA, there is need any kind of certification, just like MCSA or Selenium, like that?
You are asking, will there be any certification? Yes, you can be a certified BA. You can be a certified QA. Yes, you can be certified Scrum Master.
Okay, and there is no need about any experience about as a IT programmer or software developer or network engineer, right, sir?
Well, if you have experience, it doesn't hurt, right?
Yes.
If you have experience, nothing goes waste. So if you have experience, very good. If you don't have experience, then you need to speak English. Okay, and you need to know Microsoft Word and Excel and PowerPoint. from a user perspective, not from the programmer perspective. So if you have used Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you're all good.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Nobody learns these things from mother's womb, right?
Right.
Any one of you have learned from the day you were born? No, right? Somebody gave you training, somebody gave you guidance, somebody gave you an opportunity, then you self-learned, and then you rise up to the occasion. So as the time evolved, we have unlearned unwanted things. Like back in the days, right? We used to use fax, we used to use pagers. How many of you use pager now? Back in the days, we had different phones. Yes, rotary phones. There were no cell phones back then in 70s, 60s, and 80s and all. So as we have evolved, same thing this, right? So if you're adaptable, and if you have the fire in the belly where you want to make money, how many of you are making 6 figures? If you're making, God bless you. If not, I strongly suggest this is the easiest track to get back in the IT, which you should do. Again, any questions you have, ask for training at stratyges.com. We'll be more than happy to answer. We have an HR, and we have sometimes the trainers can also address these questions. Why this training? Because it's a general mailbox. So the HR, we have 5-member team. They can, depending upon what the questions are, they can get the answers from the specific subject matter experts, because we give training to 12 different technologies. So we get hundreds of emails practically every day, every week. That's the reason this mailbox, so nothing falls through the crack. Many of you have already used that mailbox, and many of you have already got an answer, unless you have sent an email yesterday, then not, but otherwise within 24 hours, we answer your question. Okay. Anyone else have any other question? No?
I have a question, JT this side.
Yes.
Actually, it is not related to BA QA Scrum. I have attended your session. I find it good for me. So I'm really convinced with the trainer and training skills. So my cousin, my family member, cousin is also looking for a career in Python. So please do let me know when you are going to start this career training in Python. I really want to, I want to recommend your company to her, because I'm highly convinced with the training skills, how the trainer is delivering the topic and practical knowledge, all these things.
Please ask your cousin to send an email at training@stratyges.com. Please ask your cousin to request her to send the Python introductory class training session, which is more or less similar to this, except the content will vary, so that she gets a good understanding, because we want to make sure the person is comfortable. Okay, and as I said, this training tracks is our art of giving to the community. These are free training tracks. We help you prepare for the job-oriented, employment-oriented sessions from A to Z. Okay, and hence that's my unique differentiation. We are not here make some quick bucks, $300, $500, $1,000 on you, and then just put you cut and dry. Okay, that's what happens in 95% of the times. There are 4 or 5% genuine companies who really wants to make a difference in your life. And as I said, I already said, Make America Great Again is the campaign. We strongly believe in that. And we have pledged to create 300 employments through Stratyges Consulting. So between June to December, we are earmarking, we will at least place 300 people who are going through our trainings in the job employment market. You know, people often warm their chair and expect Trump or Modi will fix their problem. And my suggestions to them is, you know, they need to rise up to the occasion and they need to try their level best. If all of us can fix our issues, believe me, you know, life will be, and the country and the great nation will be in a much better shape. So somebody has to do it. So I guess we are that somebody. Okay. I think we'll wrap the session if nobody has any other question. Ravi, do you have any comments or suggestions? No? Okay. Final call. Anybody has any questions, suggestions?
I would like to say something, Shraddha here.
Okay.
Actually, I have worked mainly in hospitality industry, like in aviation and customer service. But I lost my job because of COVID-19. But now after this, it seems that all these years I was a BA. Just now I discovered it. So I would like to thanks.
Sure. No, we all
It
are
was
BA.
really helpful.
Yes, as I said, we all are unknowingly, we all are doing business analysis in our life every single day, right? Even right now, what these people are doing is nothing but, analyzing. We all are analyzing the business, and we all are making those small improvements. Whether you do it through Scrum, Kanban, these are all different tools which leads. It's like answer should be 5. Whether 3 plus 2 is 5, whether 10 minus 5 is 5, whether 6 minus 1 is 5, whether 5 multiplication into 1 is 5. So thank you all for joining this session. If nobody has any other question, I thank you for investing your time. I repeat again, training@stratyges.com. If you see the screen, you will have that email address. Many of you may be shy to ask a question, and I totally understand. Only precaution, if you are shy, you will not be a very good business analyst. Business analyst must be a person with a little thick skin, and they should not be shy and afraid of asking questions. Business analyst always ask questions. Okay, so no questions. Okay, and that's all we have got. Sachin, Rajiv, Richa, thank you so much for giving a good overview. Ravi, any parting comment?
Alakya, do you have any questions?
We are wrapping up, Ravi. That's enough. She can drop an email. We're already more than an hour. We asked people.
Somebody joined just now. Somebody just joined actually. Okay.
Yeah. So they can send an email at training@stratyges.com, and we'll be more than happy to answer those questions. I don't want to drag it because it's a working.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much.
It has been overwhelming response considering it has been just a day notice.
Yeah. Correct.
Thank you.
It's a working day, so thank you all, and we appreciate your time. Again, training@stratyges.com is the mailbox. So if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, if you have any follow-up, especially the recording of this training. Many of you have joined towards the tail end. Some of you have joined halfway through, and some of you have missed the first 10-15 minutes, which I don't want to repeat. Please request this video if you want the business analysis training track. If any of your cousin, like somebody was saying her cousin was interested in Python, we have a training track for Python too. We'll be more than happy to send you the recorded session. So basically, the introductory session helps you to understand at an overview level what you're getting into, right? And that's how effort to educate you so that you can make an informed decision. Thank you, Bhagyashree, texting, and all of you have a great day. Bye now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you so much.
Thank you.